Welcoming traveler. Get ready to level up in fantasy football.
Well, hey there, hi there, ho there, campers. If you're looking for Corey, I will be stepping into the Deebo Samuel role for the podcast tonight. He's got a power outage. We're dealing with 80-mile-per-hour winds. If you are dealing with those, stay safe. But otherwise, we'll talk about our own hurricane of a human being. Eric, would you like your 5 minutes of fame?
I would just like to, first of all, just say Michigan versus everyone, and Michigan won. So all season, the haters have hated, and we continue to come through. I wish Corey was here so I could send him some M's. But unfortunately, he decided to fake a power outage and not be here to face the music. But that's okay. We love him. And how about we roll it back next year? Come back to college, JJ. And they could be the first overall next year. We can win 2 in a row.
Yeah, it would be crazy. So that's Eric. We're joined by him. He's at a corn dog on Sleeper. We're also joined, as always, by Evan. Evan, say hi.
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Your beard is looking just scrumptious. You look better every week.
I'm trying to grow it out. I'm trying to compete with Eric over here and Corey's magnificent beard, your magnificent mustache. I'm just trying to keep up the game,
Yep. And we are joined by a very special guest. David, you want to tell people where to find you and what you do?
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me, man. Well, first, I thought I might have been brought on because I'm making Evan's beard look even better now because I can't grow much myself. But yeah, I'm David. You can find me on Twitter at dmendio2. I do a lot of betting content, but pretty much all my content is Triple Play Fantasy, the company that I started and my brother started, and we're ramping up for baseball season now that fantasy football is kind of closing. So you'll be seeing a bunch of baseball content from the channel as well as continued basketball content. So some cool stuff over we got going. Yeah,
it's awesome, man. I don't know if any of you guys have, clicked on any of David's stuff, but he is crushing the betting scene. It's just constantly win, plus units. And then Evan and I are just throwing our money away for fun. But anyway, let's do a little prediction and cold open. Instead of our normal questions where we talk about how many dragons we could fight, let's do Super Bowl guesses. So Evan, who is winning the Super Bowl this year and who's playing in it? You also might need to unmute yourself to help.
I can't go with my Eagles because they've looked like absolute garbage. So that's really unfortunate. It's definitely not going to be the Bucks. Let's say it's going to definitely not be the Cowboys because everybody hates the Cowboys. And let's go with Niners because they should have been there last year over the Eagles.
Fair.
If Purdy wouldn't have gotten hurt, they would have been there. And let's go with the love story of the Browns. Why not?
Oh, man. I need a Joe Flacco Super Bowl. I need it in my veins.
Everybody wants it. Everybody needs it. So let's see it.
It'd be so funny. Eric, who you got for your Super Bowl predictions? He's frozen. David, who you got for your Super Bowl predictions?
I think for me, I think this is the Niners' year to come out of the NFC. I think last year could have been their year as well. And they're coming back with a vengeance this year. And obviously the number 1 seed, I think, is playing even more of a role now that there's only one bye. So I think that obviously gives them a huge advantage there. And for the AFC side, I've been just thinking it's just going to be Buffalo. Them pulling out that win changes the entire format of the playoffs for the AFC side. The Chiefs would have played the Steelers, who I'm a big Chiefs fan. So that would have been an amazing first round matchup. Now they play the Dolphins, who I could easily see them. Yeah. Well, I feel like you could also jump in on that because without TJ Watt in there, it's gonna be a hard game. But I think the Bills at home, take care of business. And then if it shapes up correctly, they would probably play the Browns or the Texans most likely. And then again, they would have to maybe play Baltimore in Baltimore, but the Baltimore's track record in the playoffs isn't necessarily an amazing one. So I think the Bills have it laid out for them to make a run here. And so I'm going to say it's going to be Buffalo and Niners.
Final, who's winning?
I think it's Niners this year.
Okay. That's exciting. Eric, who you got?
So probably on track with me in general. I'm going way off the beaten path. I am picking a Super Bowl of Browns versus Rams. And I think the Rams end up winning a Super Bowl, giving Stafford 2, and he's inevitably going to be a Hall of Famer.
All right. So we got that out of the way early. That is Eric's bad take of the week. Thank you for joining in, everybody.
We will revisit this in a month, and you'll change that crap.
It'd be so funny. I'm going to just lay out not my actual prediction, but I want to give the funniest possible circumstance for the Super Bowl. So it's Cowboys, Dak, minor injury. We're never rooting for injuries, but Dak gets hurt in the first round. So now Trey Lance comes in. Trey Lance plays the 49ers, destroys the 49ers, goes to the Super Bowl. On the flip side, Joe Flacco and the Browns beat the Ravens. So now Flacco beats the Ravens, Lance beats the Niners, and you have just the funniest quarterback matchup possible between Trey Lance and Joe Flacco. And I think Flacco's experience pulls it off. Browns by 20.
I have one question to that, though. Does Trey Lance go before Cooper Rush does?
Probably not. I actually think they would sit him, which is just even funnier.
I love
Man,
it. I love that scenario.
Root for the chaos. Up there is also a Mason Rudolph Baker Mayfield matchup, which would be electric, or just any Jared Goff situation, because then the Rams are like, what did we miss here? But all very solid guesses. Can't wait to see how it plays out. I'm very excited for the playoffs. Let's get into some news. So, official declaration day for the draft is January 15th. Evan has already started, he is tracking all of that religiously. All of those are going to be posted on our Discord. So if you guys haven't joined that yet, we'll post the link after this. It's pretty exciting. Big transfer news. Quinshon Judkins to Ohio State. Evan, you want to talk about what that means for Judkins, what it means for Ohio State, and what it means, probably most importantly for the show, Travion Henderson.
Well, I think it's really interesting because reports already came out that he met with Travion when he was there. He did an official visit, and he had a conversation with the coaching staff and Travion, and everybody was on board with the two of them splitting carries, which would make it a incredibly dynamic backfield and would be probably the best backfield from a talent perspective in all of college football.
Oh, yeah.
And then the bigger one, though, that didn't go to Ohio State was Malachi Nelson going to Boise State. The former 5-star recruit, maybe 4, depending on what recruiting service you look at, was at USC. He very well could have been the USC starter next year, or at the very least push for that job. And he was expected to potentially be going to Ohio State as a rumor there. So it's big to be able to see him not go to Ohio State as a Penn State fan, and for Eric as a Michigan fan.
Yeah. Got to keep the Big Ten a little nerfed. Cool. And then we already hit on this, Eric, but does anybody else have thoughts about the college football playoff? Was it exciting, or was Michigan has a bunch of grown men playing college football, so it's not that fun? Cool. All right.
No. Penix, real quick. Penix missing multiple wide open receivers or multiple reads that he probably should have been making. Does that give you any pause for concern?
I do want to say we watched CJ Stroud last year ball out against the nation's best defense, and that should have put all of his draft haters to bed. Penix facing one of the nation's best defenses looked like Bryce Young, looked like Zach Wilson, looked like insert your least favorite quarterback here, did not do a great job against them. And it has to do something with his draft stock, but his draft stock already was late first best case scenario. The people that were talking about top 15 buzz were that was recency bias getting a little too excited. So I don't think that game specifically hurts his draft stock, but it doesn't help, which he needed some help.
I joked around with my buddies today at work. I said the 4th down throw he had where he had, I forgot which receiver was, but where he had him wide open and he threw it to the wrong shoulder and overthrew him. Yeah. And
walk in for a touchdown.
I said that throw, it's one throw in the game and it's early on, but I said, I guarantee you that throw, some scouts see that and it's a huge play in the game. He's wide open and you have to hit that throw. Just the fact how badly he missed him too. I was like, that throw could easily have him just like you said, Mike, he was, I guess, getting kind of momentum, or if you want to say it was kind of recency bias, mock drafts were having him going in the top 15. That throw right there probably took him back to where he was initially going to go before he had his last game when he balled out against Texas. So I do think I'm sure going to also do well at the combine. I would be shocked if he gets out of the first round because I think teams are going to trade up just for him, even if it's at the back end of the first.
Mhm.
But I don't think he's going to be one of those guys that's taken like in the top 10 or 15, like I think initially people thought he might.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some medical red flags there. I mean, he has enough knee injuries that he looks like a 40-year-old military veteran. Like, it's just not what you want to see.
And shoulder injuries. Don't forget about that.
Oh, yeah.
After
release is
after
crazy.
this run, are you guys going JJ or Penix now?
Penix still.
Yeah, JJ's going back to college unless.
Also, fun fact, JJ averaged 16 completions per game, and that is including he only had more than 20 completions per game against unranked teams. So when the world needed him most, he hid behind Corum.
And that offensive line that probably has multiple day one TCU talents.
And I don't blame the Michigan system for doing that. Like that is the right way. And like you go undefeated and win the national championship. It rocks. It just makes the evaluation of McCarthy even harder, and you need to dig and look into those tools. I think he has the tools. He just doesn't display them often.
I think if he was playing in a Washington-style offense, you would see a lot more from him. I think the way that Harbaugh runs his offense is a like power running team, so you don't get to see it as much. But I think there's also something to be said that he wins. He went 27-1 in starting at Michigan, which is fantastic, and he's a big part of the reason of their resurgence too.
Quarterbacks aren't a win stat. Anyway, coaching changes. Black Monday was yesterday. So we have seen Arthur Smith gone, toasted, away. Evan, would you like to talk about Arthur Smith being gone and what that means for #free Kyle Pitts?
It means there's a chance. It means if you have Kyle Pitts and you're not sold on him, right now is the hopium time to be able to sell him. Like you can be able to sell somebody on Kyle Pitts, getting a new coordinator in there, getting a new head coach in there, getting a new quarterback in the offseason. Mm-hmm. And if somebody's willing to bite on that, they might be willing to pay what was full price for him or close to full price last offseason when he's definitely not worth that right now based off of what we've seen. I think it means more for Drake London, though, personally.
Do you think that London is going to have a resurgence? Well, not a resurgence. I mean, it's year 3, but you think he's going to have that year 3 breakout?
Yeah, I mean, the year 3 breakout, if you actually get a quarterback that can distribute the football in there, not be awful, not need to say that it's a Ritter game, and just kind of hope for the best on what happens on those home games where Ritter was actually halfway decent, not decent, but halfway there. So, yeah, I mean, you're seeing everything that you need to. I think it makes them a prime candidate to also make a bid for one of those top 5 picks to probably take one of the top 3 quarterbacks.
I would love to see Jaden Daniels in Atlanta. That would just be so exciting. All right. That is Arthur Smith. The bad man is gone. So kind of a surprise firing for some people. It wasn't that big of a surprise to Titans fans. Vrabel out of Tennessee. David, not to put you on the spot, do you think that there's a better option that they're going to find, or do you think it was just time and they needed a fresh perspective of the building?
My impression when I saw that was for the longest time, they've been a grinded out, run it in the ground 20 plus times with Derrick Henry, play good defense team. And that is not winning in today's NFL. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing they had that association with him, and that's how he liked to do things. Obviously, Derrick Henry being there is a big part of that. But I think they wanted, let's bring in a young or, some offensive minded head coach that we're going to be able to work better with our quarterback, someone that's a quarterback guru, quote unquote, and turn this offense into something different because it's not working. And in that regard, I do agree because look, the Tennessee's had some good years. They went to the AFC Championship game a few years ago. They're always deceptively better than they should be, but no one's ever picking them to win the Super Bowl or most years not even win the division. So yeah, I think they needed the fresh start there. Vrabel is a top 5 head coach in this league, but his type of style for that team, I think they needed a new voice there. So I think for both sides, it's great. I think Tennessee's going to get that fresh start. Derrick Henry's not going to be there next year. Is it Levis? They have the 7th pick in the draft. Are they going to take another quarterback? I wouldn't think so, but you never know. I would love that 7th pick to be used on like Malik Neighbors or something like that for them to put, have a nice young, really good wide receiver to go there. But again, I think Vrabel's going to land on his feet. There's going to be 20 plus teams that probably would want him there. So whoever ends up, I'm sure he'll get a huge contract from whichever team does get him. So But yeah, both sides, great move. I think it's for the best.
Well, and let's also not forget that ownership came out and said that they didn't even think about trading Vrabel
Yeah.
because it would be too complicated.
Yeah.
Seems lazy.
That was very weird language. I'm almost like, is it just like a disrespectful type of move to trade a
Yeah.
coach? Like, if is it like we're showing the lack of respect we have for you because we're trading you away, or is it more kind of like we mutually agree to part way? It didn't make sense to me. Like that can't be the whole story. There has to be something else to that.
Yeah.
Because why would you
But-
not, if you can get draft compensation, even if it's a 7th round pick, why would you not take it? You know?
I think the issue that they have there is that they thought it was going to take too long, and they want to be on the first wave of coaching hires. So they're trying to like, let's not try to do the whole dog and pony show and like get Vrabel traded. Let's cut ways. The moment that somebody becomes available, we can start interviewing and hiring. That's the only thing I can see.
I get that. I just feel like Vrabel is a pretty high profile head coach. So like,
Yeah.
I feel like if you want to, yeah, like, I mean, again, teams that have head coaches that might not have considered firing them might, if they get a shot at Vrabel, like we wouldn't know if that'd be the case, but like,
Yeah.
almost every team's going to want to come calling for him that doesn't have a coach like solidified in place.
Mm-hmm. But be cool to see how it plays out. I hope that somebody comes in there that's like a quarterback whisperer that can help out Will Levis, but that roster needs some love desperately. Trading AJ Brown for Treylon Burks was all-time bad beat. But last Black Friday news or Black Monday news, no deals today, bad deals. Ron Rivera out of Washington. Eric, is Sam Howell the quarterback in Washington week 1 next year?
Absolutely not. Them getting the 2nd overall pick, they're going to get a coach who's going to get his choice of whether whoever goes, basically Williams or May, they're going to get their choice of whoever's not that, or Jaden Daniels, if they really like that. And whoever that is going to be the week 1 starter right off the bat, in my opinion, which I actually think makes Washington, where I thought wasn't an attractive coaching hire, I think actually makes it now an attractive coaching hire that high profile coaches will want to go coach there. I know I've heard that the owner's enamored with Belichick, but that just seems like a weird fit. I think you're going to see more like a Ben Johnson from the Lions or some hot offensive guy who's going to end up going there and want to take their guy. So, no, I don't see Al starting again.
What is the % chance that the enemy is the head coach next year?
75%. I'd say he's the
What do you
odds-on
mean?
favorite.
He'll definitely get
about
an interview for sure.
And that's
Think
the
about
thing.
what he's done with that offense and what he's done with their points per game. Like, he can't help that the defense is an abomination as the OC. So he did very well in his role, and like the team responds well to him. It makes sense.
Would you not love that spot for Vrabel? Like, just have a defensive-minded head coach to be able to whip the defense, have Bieniemy just get the absolute reins of the offense, be able to do everything that he wants. Yeah.
You saying bring Vrabel in as a DC?
No, Vrabel in as the head coach. And
The enemy
keep-
would leave then.
You don't, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's right.
Okay, all right.
Bieniemy's been like itching for a head coaching job. I think they actually hired him with the intention of like,
Being the
unless
next
Rivera
one.
turns this team around, like your dog-eared is the next guy.
Okay.
So
I think it's kind of interesting if they do take Drake May, because Sam Howell and Drake May are teammates. We're teammates at UNC. And so if they have them in the same quarterback room, I feel like that it's going to be as good an environment as you would want. You have two guys that are used to being in the same room already and are probably just going to root for each other. And like, it would create a healthy atmosphere. And Sam Howell is not a bad backup quarterback to have.
no.
So you could have your 1 and 2 and be set, assuming Drake May pans out, and that's about as good of a 1-2 as you would want to going forward for the next 5 to 10 years, you would think.
Also think
Yeah.
about the coming home story if Caleb Williams ends up falling there. Yeah. I mean, he's DC native. The hometown kid comes home to be able to do it. Man, what a storyline.
Every mock draft that has Washington trading up to 1 is just going to cite he's a DC guy, he's a DC guy, he's a DC, and it makes a ton of sense.
Mhm.
But I think that does it for head coaches. I'm just going to run through the other position coaches that have moved. Mike Caldwell, the Jaguars, DC, out of the building. Wink Martindale, the Giants, RIP, out of there. Josh McCown, quarterback coach for the Panthers. I don't know if you watched the Panthers. They need a new quarterback coach. Deuce Staley, running back coach for the Panthers. I don't know if you watched the Panthers. They need a new every coach.
Mhm.
Bernie Permally, running back coach for the Jaguars, and Bobby Johnson, O-line for the Giants. Basically, bad teams gutted their staffs, which is probably what you should do. Cool. All right. I think that does it for news and notes, unless anybody has random things that I'm missing. No? All right. Before we dive into trivia, we are at 196 subscribers. So if you guys like the content, we would love a little click. It's down there, I think, that way, if you're on YouTube. But it's just a click for you guys, but it means a ton for us and trying to get this channel moving. This week, we are going to do some 2023 trivia. The way this is going to work, I have set up about 10 questions. Each of them is going to be worth 5 points. You guys are going to write down your answer, and then we're going to go around the horn. It'll always go Evan first, and David, then Eric. You're going to read your answer, and then I will laugh at you if you get it wrong. We'll do that a couple of times. At the end, we'll do like a final Jeopardy where you can wager your things. And it should be a fun time and hopefully informative for the people at home. If you guys are watching, feel free to comment your answers. We would love to hear from you and see how you're doing. Make sure that Evan's not cheating. Cool? All right. Let's dive into it with question number 1. The difference between Christian McCaffrey's scrimmage yards and the second running back scrimmage yards was A, 86 yards, B, 148 yards, C, 307 yards, or D, 438 yards. Take your time. Let's think about it. While we talk about this, Christian McCaffrey had an amazing season for fantasy. He was the running back 1, and the difference between him and the running back 2 in total points was 101, which is absolutely ridiculous. Did I fill enough time? Are you guys ready with your answers? Evan, let's see it. I can't see that. I need you to read it to me. I need you to unmute and read. Oh, man. It's going to be a good show. We're ready. It's a C. All right, C. 307 yards. David, what you got?
I have B. B, 148.
148. Eric?
I've got D, 438.
Yeah,
Man.
I was really considering D. I really was. That's what I
Ladies
was
and gentlemen,
between.
Eric is the only one that got it right. Eric is currently in first.
Oh,
5 points. If Eric gets our trivia right, I am going to laugh. All right. Question number 2. The tight end 1 in fantasy points per game, and this is in PPR, was A, Travis Kelce, B, Sam Laporta, C, Taysom Hill, or D, TJ Hawkinson. Your time starts now. Should I just sing the Jeopardy song while we do this? Like, do, 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 do. But while we talk about this, Sam Laporta was the tight end 1 in total points.
Mhm.
Evan Ingram was actually the tight end 2 in total points, which is really cool. He was not listed here because he played all 17 games and had a strange season. He had 143 targets, Evan Ingram did, which is a ridiculous amount. So, Evan, tight ends. Who is tight end 1 in points per game?
I'm going with Hawkinson, not playing the last couple games.
Okay.
Unfortunate. But definitely considered Kelce here.
David?
I think it's Hawkinson for that reason as well.
Okay. And Eric?
I almost went Taysom Hill just as that feels like a sneaky, like, why is that there ad? But no, I went Hawkinson as well.
All right. I am deeply sorry. So I'm going to read. Travis Kelce played 15 games, and he scored 219.4 fantasy points. TJ Hawkinson played 15 games, and he scored 219.0 fantasy points.
Ooh, man.
It was Travis Kelce. So,
Two
good
for
guesses,
two.
though.
2
Good
for
guesses,
2 on
though.
the second one that I want to take.
Let me know what your
my
other one
gut's
you're
out the
thinking next,
window.
and I'm going to go that
Yeah,
one.
my gut's out the window. Yeah.
Just a good second place guy. All right. Question number 3. The worst division in the NFL. How many total wins did the NFC South have in 2023? A, 25 wins, B, 27 wins, C, 30 wins, or D, 33 wins. Again, if you're at home, drop the comments in there. Just say what your answer is, and maybe I'll put it up on the screen and try to give the guys some help. But while we talk about the NFC South, did you guys know that the bottom 3 teams in the AFC North, so not including the 1 seed Baltimore Ravens, had more wins than the entire NFC South?
Yeah, they were all over 500, which was crazy.
Wild. All right. Evan, what's your answer?
My gut said B, so I went with A.
All right. A25. That's unfortunate. David, what you got?
I was going with A as well because I know the Panthers had 2, and I know the other 3 teams were right around 500 or a little bit below. So I calculated it. I think it's 25.
Okay. And Eric.
Well, the Bucks had 9 wins, Saints had 9 wins, the Falcons had 7 wins, and the Panthers had 2 wins. So it's B27.
Oh, I was wrong.
Eric is dominating you guys. It is 27 wins.
Why did I think the other ones had they were around 7, 8? I didn't realize they had 9.
Well, Arthur
they'll
Smith
sneak in
went
there
7
then.
and 10, 7 and 10, and 7 and 10. So that's the number that's floating around too.
Yeah.
Man, Eric's that sneaky smart kid. So for you looking for the standings, it is currently Eric at 10 points, and then David and Evan are having fun.
Second place champ here. Just keep
Yeah.
picking the second answer.
I just
You
don't
were
want
like,
Evan to feel alone at second place, so I'm with him.
it's nice of you. He was like, my gut said B, and I was like, oh no. But on the flip side, how many wins did the AFC North have? A 35, B 38, C 40, or D 43? Man. Everybody is thinking hard. I can see Evan doing math in his head. This is a nightmare fuel. Math at home. We're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Evan, your math is over. What do you have?
43D.
Hey, okay, that's a good guess. See if you got, what was your second guess?
40.
Okay, that's interesting. David?
I'll go 40.
Okay.
I'm going with a second guess.
That's a solid strategy. And Eric?
Well, Ravens had 13, Bengals had 9, Steelers had 10, and Browns had 11. So 43D.
Eric knows ball. It's 43. Man, I can't tell if it's good trivia because you guys aren't getting it, or if it's sad, not good trivia because it's too hard. But
It's not too hard.
Well, now I need to get them now.
Eric's just super fueled by alcohol right now and all of the shots that he had last night.
Yep. This is just hungover. This is what a Michigan education can do for you.
It's
Correct.
the only time that he can do math is when he's hungover.
And roll today.
Probably actually true. Slows the
All right.
ADHD brain down.
So our standings are what? 15, 5, and fun?
0. Yeah, fun. Yeah,
Fun.
I like that better. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
It's like tennis when they say love. All right. So
exactly, yeah.
Rookie fever hit us hard this year. How many rookies finished top 24 at their position this season? Was it A, 6, B, 9, C, 12, and D, 15? This is only quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. We're not doing kickers or IDPs because that would be a nightmare. But while we talk about this, Sam Laporta had the tight end 1 season as a rookie. I tried to go back and find the last time that happened, and I honestly couldn't find one. So if you guys can think of that at home, feel free to let us know. But rookie tight ends aren't supposed to do this. But back to the bold take battle. I said that 2 rookie tight ends would finish in the top 12, and that was correct. So that can help you guys with your guess here. I feel like David writes his question down immediately. He's like, I know this. Here's the answer. And Evan is just doing calculus in the background. Evan, are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. Hit me with it.
I think it's 12, but my second
12.
answer was B for 9.
Okay. Interesting. David?
I mean, I know the top of my head it has to be. I'm pretty sure it has to be C or D because I'm just going through all these rookies in my head, and I feel like it's double digits. I could be wrong.
We'll see.
I'm gonna say this was an amazing year for rookies. Just going through all of my head, I'm gonna go 15. I'm gonna go all of them.
Okay. And Eric?
I'm going to go B.
Okay. I promise I didn't give Eric the questions ahead of time. It was B.
Oh my.
So it was Stroud, Young. Young stuck in as the quarterback 23. Then Bijan Gibbs, Achan finishes the running back 24 in 11 games.
Right.
Puka, Addison, Laporta, Kincaid.
So those the whole thing.
Rice dropped out just a little bit. He
That was
like
one I was thinking of.
27.
I had
Who else are we
Rice,
thinking of?
Rice and Dell in there, but Dell makes sense because he
I
didn't
didn't
play
think of
enough
Dell,
games.
but I had
He
Rice.
didn't play enough games. Okay.
Yep. And then Richardson, RIP.
Yeah.
Musgrave didn't make it for tight ends.
Nope, because remember Musgrave got hurt and then Tucker Kraft filled in for him.
Kraft
But if you combined those two into one human, they would have finished at 24.
What about Jaden Reed?
Jaden Reed finished as
how-
the PPR. Jaden Reed finished as the wide receiver 25.
I like that's where I'm like, there's so many that were like on the fringe. I was like Rice, Reed, like that's why I thought.
Here, wait, ready? I'm gonna run through the wide receivers 25 to 30. You got Jaden Reed, Garrett Wilson, Rasheed Rice, Chris Godwin, George Pickens, Zay Flowers.
That's
So
another.
just
I didn't think
there,
of it. Like
there's
it
3.
felt like there was more. That's why I'm kind of
Yep.
shocked there's only 9.
Yep. All right, so we still have Eric well out in front. Are you guys ready for question number? I don't know what number we're on.
5.
5. We definitely
6?
don't have 10 questions.
I
We'll
don't
see.
know.
I'm going to count each kicker as a question. All right, so Puka Nacua broke the rookie receiving yards record. How many more yards did he have than the record? Is it A, 2 yards, B, 13 yards, C, 94 yards, or D, 167 yards? There's no math to be done here. This is just vibes-based questions. David, what are your vibes around this right now?
Should I answer first?
You can answer, or you can just give your thoughts.
I know. I'm pretty sure I know this one.
Ooh, all right. Well, make sure you guys write down your question or your answers then, but hit us with it. What is it?
I think it's A because I'm pretty sure he. Yeah, I won't get the read. I'm pretty sure it's A.
Okay. Interesting. Evan,
Well, that's really unfortunate because my second answer was A.
what's your first answer?
B.
Okay. Eric?
Also at B.
Okay. He had 13 more yards than the current record, which was Bill Groman.
What? I was pretty sure he needed 29 and he had 4 for 31 and a touchdown.
I can double check it while you guys are
I'm
running
sure,
through
I'm
your next
sure you're
questions.
right. I've thought in my head, I remember seeing that he got it by like 2 yards.
Yeah, I think he got it by 2 yards, and then he got another catch later in the game, which was
Probably happened.
heartbreaking.
I'm literally looking like a complete idiot right now.
These are just tough questions. So he had 1,486 yards, and Bill Groman had 1,473. And that was in 14 games in 1960 for the Houston Oilers.
How many more catches did he get than Waddle? Was it 1 or 2?
Then Waddle.
'Cause Waddle had the second most catches.
Ooh,
He passed
let's-
Waddle for that. If it was 2, that's where I probably pulled that from.
StatMuse has that blocked out for me right now, but he only has 4 more than Anquan Bolden, and there's a name grayed out in between. So I'm going to guess 1 or
Waddle.
2.
I'm gonna look right now. I'm pretty sure that if it's 2, that's why I'm an idiot and thought that was what I was thinking of.
Catches and yards are sneaky. All right, this is a fun one. So, Eric, how many points do you have?
I got all but one of them right. So 10, 15, 20,
That means
25.
that you have 25 points. And David, you're still having fun, right?
Oh, I'm having a lot of fun.
Okay.
Waddle had it was by 1 catch, not 2. So I look even like more of an idiot.
Hey, we're taking open enrollment in Michigan if you want to get those numbers up.
I'm applying right now as we speak.
Yeah, he's doing that in the background. That's why he's not getting the questions right. He's applying to Michigan.
Mhm.
So, what we're going to do, David, you're in last place. This is your chance to close the gap on Eric. So, Eric, if you get this question right over David, you are going to steal 10 of his points. So he's going to go to negative 10 points. But if David
You wouldn't do
gets
that.
this right over you, he is going to steal 20 of yours.
Let's go.
So, are you guys ready? Head to head, first versus last place. Which of these tight ends outscored Kyle Pitts in the first month this year? Was it A, Taysom Hill, B, Durham Smythe, C, Mike Gesicki, or D, Blake Bell? Evan, while they're doing this, which one do you think it is and why? Better yet, what's your second question or your second answer?
I don't think it's Taysom Hill because I don't remember him playing a ton in the early part of the season, which for some unknown reason, I remember Hunter Henry absolutely smashing to start the season, which makes me think it's also not Gesicki, which
So you've narrowed it down to 2 for him.
which leads me down to Durham Smythe because why not? It's Mike McDaniels, and he would do something crazy stupid like that to just mess with all of us.
That would be very funny. But all right, David, you are in last place, so you get to go first. And if you pick, it's the same thing Eric did. Eric has to pick a different name. So
I feel like Eric should get to go first then, because I feel like that's not fair to him.
no,
Yeah,
you're the
that
guest. You're the guest, and we're bullying Eric. That's part of the bit here.
That's rude.
All right, so what you got?
So my heart and my head on this one. My heart wants Mike Gesicki because he's won me a lot of money, and my head says Durham Smythe. So I'll go with my head here, and I'll say it's Durham Smythe.
Eric, who do you have?
Doesn't matter. He won it. I knew the answer. I refused to pick because he got it right.
All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll just split the points in half then, so you both
There
go
we
to 12.5 points. Is
I
that a fair
literally knew
compromise?
that answer too.
How did you know? Well, oh yeah, we did make Durham Smythe jokes like week 5, but Kyle Pitts was the tight end 29 in the first month of the season, with Durham Smythe scoring 0.6 more points than him, Mike Gesicki scoring 2 points less, and then every other name down there is like way down there. They just happen to fall into the end zone once. This is going to be an exciting one. I am going to start a timer for 10 seconds. Sorry, 15 seconds. You guys are going to write down your answers, and you're going to have to show them up to the screen while you're talking. Are you ready?
Ready.
Time starts now. Name 5 kickers. For the people at home, if you still have kickers in your fantasy leagues, get rid of them. We are halfway through your time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. Put those answers up, even if you're not answering. I don't want to see any sneaky stuff. Oh, man.
I got 2.
3.
I wrote
I
down
got 3.
2. And one's not even in the NFL anymore.
All right. Let's do Evan first. Who were your 2? Because I can't read your handwriting.
Yeah, Tucker and Janikowski, because Seabass was awesome.
Nice. I asked my dad this earlier, and he just named every Steelers kicker since like 1955. Couldn't name a single one for another team.
Oh, we could have named ones that weren't in the NFL right now.
You shouldn't have.
He
But
literally
okay.
just said kickers. He never said current
David,
kickers.
who are your kickers?
I said Brandon Aubrey, Brandon McManus, and Harrison Bucker.
Lots of Brandons.
Fucker. That's who I forgot.
Oh, man.
Brandon. Brandon.
Brandon on the brain.
Eric, any Brandons?
I don't know why Nick Folk jumped in my head. I'm not even sure if he's still in the NFL or not, but he was a Jets kicker. And then Carlos Santos, he was Bears, and Justin Tucker.
Okay, so you both
Eric, you should remember Jay Elliott.
Oh, yeah, Jake.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. All right. Well, that has been a magical. I don't think it actually ended up being 10. I think it ended up being 8 at the end. But we are going to hit our final question, our little final Jeopardy. And then we can do some more just like random chatting about stuff, or we can just close the show out. But final Jeopardy, you're going to have to write down how much you wager and your answer.
What do I have?
You both have 12.5. You and David.
What?
We split your points.
He sniped them from you. I'm sorry.
So
So we got
Sniper
12.5,
versus
12.5, and then Evan,
I'm really
how many
gonna
do you have
put you on
10.
this
I
win.
have 10, so
All right. So there's going to be a lot of wagering strategy going on here. Final question. Who has the most fantasy points in a season since LT's magical 2006 season? You have to write down your wager and your answer. There's a couple of names that come to mind. I'm sure you guys are already thinking about them, but it would be a good one. Thank you, Big Ordy 66. Dicker the kicker.
Dicker the
I cannot
kicker.
believe nobody named Dicker the kicker.
Hey, are we talking non-quarterbacks?
I don't think it matters, if that helps. Yeah.
Hmm.
Cool. Do you have your answer?
Do you have to name the year, or
No, you can just the player.
Okay.
There's a couple with like long windows that you can just throw them out there and see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you ready? Let's
Sounds
see
good.
it. Let's feel it. How many points did you wager and who did you put them on?
All 10 because why not? I'm already out of this thing, so I said Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
It's Tom Brady season.
Okay. Interesting. David?
I just said Christian McCaffrey. I remember the 1 year it was with the Panthers, like the original. I think he might have done it.
Okay. Interesting. And Eric, what's your best guess?
I said the exact same thing as Evan, Randy Moss, that Tom Brady year.
And how many points did you and David bet?
I bet all mine.
I bet
Yes.
0.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlefolk, I'm going to read the top seasons starting at 2021, Josh Allen, 2013, Peyton Manning, 2019, Lamar Jackson, 2018 Mahomes, 2022 Mahomes, then 2021 Cooper Kupp, but even better, 2019 Christian McCaffrey had 471 PPR points in 16 games played. So that wasn't even in the 17 games. He had, let me get this right,
I remember he just dominated.
19 rushing touchdowns, or no, 19 total touchdowns, with 15 of those being rushing. He had an ungodly amount of catches, and he had 2,392 scrimmage yards. So just broke the door open. That does it for our trivia today, folks. I hope you guys had a magical time. David, we're going to mail you your own FFRPG merch, which you will get to take home as a prize. Congratulations, Eric. I'm sorry. Just
Can Eric sign it before it gets sent to me?
I can send it to Eric and have him sign it and send it to you. Okay.
He
I'll like
literally
that. Then when
won
I'm
with
coming
my
on
points.
again, I can wear it with his.
Literally won with my points.
Yeah. He was just holding them for you. But I hope the people at home had a good time. I hope you guys all learned something. David, thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you had a good time. We try and just goof off here. Do you want to let the people at home know where to find you and what you're working on coming up?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Mike. This is a blast being with you guys. Really appreciate the invite. Again, you can find me on Twitter at DMendio2. All of my content right now is just with my company, Triple Play Fantasy. I do a lot of betting content on Twitter, though, as well as like some other random stuff as well. But yeah, if you want to follow us over there, we're on YouTube, any podcast platform, anywhere, all social media. So check us out. Very cool. Evan, you got anything you're working on coming up, or just still building the Titan Stadium?
Yeah, no, still working with permitting for the Titan Stadium. We just had our every other week meeting for it yesterday. So it's always a lot of fun, always a bunch of crazy engineering problems that they just kind of throw at us and say, hey, how can the city solve this for us? Thanks.
Did you have to cancel your 2 o'clock with Vrabel tomorrow?
If only that was on the table.
Man, just tell Miss Amy we say hey. But thank you so much for coming on. Thanks to everybody that was listening, and I hope you have a lovely night. Bye-bye.